Stu's ready to go tonight.
I'm glad Stu is. I've got a sore shoulder I'm nursing, so I'm in some agonizing pain. But I'm doing this for you guys. I'm sitting here in pain. And
is that shoulder pain from carrying boxes to your new office?
No, actually, I was. No, I wish. I'll actually have a video about my new office. It's basically we just need to drywall it now and paint. And
okay.
But my Bree finished my desk. She made me a desk, and it's amazing. It's got
it.
Yeah, it's a nice live edge and everything. It's amazing.
She got 100-year-old oak, carved it out of the trunk, and
so something like that. And then I have my stand-up desk that'll be in there. So I'll have an L-shaped desk in there, and it's pretty cool. So it's kind of funny. My one desk, my stand-up desk, is all like modern. And it's got fancy like color changing LED lights and all this stuff. Power up and down. Move up and down. And then my other one's like an old, slab of wood cut from a tree. It's actually, I think it's beechwood, if I remember correctly. I don't know. We have a friend who owns a lumber mill, so he makes stuff for us once in a while, and really cool pieces. Where we do a lot of live edge type stuff, and it kind of fits the theme of our English pub style basement. So
there you go.
Anyway, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. It's funny you're talking about a sore shoulder because I had my own injury over the weekend after our Eau Claire trip. Over the weekend I was biting into something that had some peanuts in it, and something I bit down on was pretty firm, and I broke off a half a tooth.
Oh boy.
Molars, yeah. So I would have thought that was considered some type of dental emergency, because actually it's one I have like a 25-year-old filling in, and the whole inside wall broke off and the whole filling's exposed. Yep. But I called and they're like, well, we don't have any openings until middle of March or something like that.
Yep, sounds right.
I'm like, well, I can't go that long with this. And they're like, well, let me see what else I can do. So next week, Thursday or something like that, they moved it up to. So I'm like, all right, I guess I can wait that long.
So it's funny you mentioned the fillings, because last year I have some of the old, silver metal fillings. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And now they use like the plastic where they use like the light to seal it and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, that was something I did with my dentist. He's like, well, let's replace a couple of these each year, because they cap you at how much you can spend or whatever in your insurance and stuff. And he's like, let's just do a couple of these each year until we get all these replaced. I only have 4 total, so technically it's just 2 years worth of. But he's like, yeah, those metal ones got to go, because I had a crack in one of my teeth, and he's like, that's because the fillings just don't hold up this long. So
that's what I think was happening with mine, and it finally reached the point where it broke. I bit on something just right, because it was. So now's the time where everyone shames me. I have an aversion to the dentist. I don't know that there's much in life that causes me more anxiety than a dentist. It's not so much the work, it's just the uncomfortableness of them, hands in your mouth for however long, and they're trying to have a conversation with you, and they're asking you questions to respond to, and all this stuff. It's just a awkward situation for me. So I have not gone in a couple of years, and I thought this filling was coming loose, because every once in a while I would bite on something and get a shooting pain just in that tooth.
Yeah.
Well, I think what happened is it cracked at some point.
Sure, and you got a cavity in there.
Yeah. Yep. So now the thing is, I'm like, to your point, it's this old metal filling. I'm like, am I getting some kind of metal poisoning every day before I go in there?
Yeah. Yeah, geez, I don't think it was actually, toxic or anything by that measure. It's just the material they use now. Yeah, the material they use now is so much better. So
yeah, it's like a resin.
They're just trying to replace them all and into something that'll hold up, longer term. So
the worst thing for me right now, I'm not in a ton of pain. I can't chew on that side, obviously, but the worst thing is there's like jagged edges of both the metal and the tooth. and my tongue knows there's something different in my mouth and wants to mess with it.
Right.
And cutting the hell out of my tongue.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it'll stay sharp for a while until it naturally
yeah.
wears down or you do something with it. So
maybe I just file it down in the meantime or something.
Yep. Well, they'll probably you might have to get a crown or something too. They might have.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
Something over the top. Yeah, I had. Yeah, the dentist doesn't bother me at all. It's kind of weird because I'm averse to really any medical treatment. I don't want anybody touching me. I don't go to a massage thing. I don't, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the dentist has never been a big deal for me. So, but I understand there's lots of people with high anxiety over it. So
it's funny. Some people absolutely love it. They look forward to going. I do.
Well, those people are not right.
Great.
Yeah, those people are not right in the head. So, what does Stuart think of the dentist? Is he a fan?
Stuart says every time I go to the dentist, I say,
"Oh."
That should be the new dental tool. Okay, open your mouth and say.
It's kind of funny. Your screen froze and it was your mouth open with the goat.
That sounds right.
So I just realized under your name it says goat herder.
That's true.
Yeah, that's because it's so small on my screen I can barely see it.
Stew herder.
I have a Yeti today.
Oh, you got the Yeti? Okay.
I was feeling kind of wintry with all our melting and high temps. I figured I'd throw a little winter clothing on and
sure
inspire the winter thoughts. So, well, I suppose we should get on with the show here.
I thought this was the show. I thought we just talked about
college for tonight. So
yeah.
Yo, YouTube. Thanks everybody for joining us. We've got 19 live viewers right now. Those of us watching after this has been recorded. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. And we don't have anything super intense to talk about today. I wanted to kind of do a little review of our show that we went to this past weekend in Eau Claire. We both did videos, of course, of things, so we don't have to go too far into it. But what was your thoughts? That was kind of the first time we'd ever been to that one.
Yeah, on my video I called it Satisfied Saturday because when I got back and I went through everything, I was pretty satisfied with the show overall and when I brought home. It didn't meet the expectations I had built up in my head. I will say that. Like, I don't know why my expectations weren't fair, first of all. Let me just get that out of the way. I thought 3-day show, I think it was supposed to be 60 plus tables, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I had this vision of the concourse through the mall having tables.
I did too. Yeah, I did too.
And then we got there and it probably was 60 tables. I don't know, maybe 40.
Yeah.
But it was all in one empty storefront. And I was like, oh, well, this feels a lot like, some of the local shows we went to.
Yeah.
I had built up this expectation of something really different. Almost like I remember telling my wife, it's kind of like a mini dry run for the National. Adam and I are going to hit the road. It's a multi-day show. We might spend the night. And then I got there and I was like, okay, it's not a big thing. Now, all that out of the way. They had a good variety of things. I think that card shop in the mall that we hit at the end really, really solidified the day for us. I mean, I think we both got some good stuff out of there, and it was a good experience there. So when we bundled that in, the whole day was a success. Like I said, satisfied Saturday for me when I went through everything. I was happy we made the trip.
Yeah, same here. I was extremely surprised at the size of it. I expected it to be bigger. And to be fair, there were a bunch of vendors that weren't there because it was a Friday. So it really wasn't Satisfied Saturday. It was more like Fulfilled Friday. Ha! Look at that. I'm on the ball. But yeah, the very first dealer I went into turned to the right. Of course, my video corrupted, unfortunately. However, that did force me to finally get a big enough SD card for my new camera so I can film 10 hours at a time. Anyway, but all the vintage Star Wars for such a good deal. I was like, man, if this is the only thing I buy here, I can walk away and I made more than my money today. So and we did get to meet a few viewers. I think it's fun to get out and just be able to see some other dealers, some other, show goers, and get to say hi to people. And Matt was there. It was fun talking to him. He's another full-time seller, and he does a little bit more of the mid-end stuff, the $5 to $25 stuff, and had a box of cards for us, which was really nice of him.
Yes. Friend of the show, Matt.
So it was definitely worth it. I did like the shop. I thought they had some interesting things to buy. That little pack of Babe Ruths I got for $2 was a hell of a deal. It was like 5 cents for a Babe Ruth card.
Right.
Picked up some more rare Favre stuff. That one Favre insert that I picked up was actually a Star Rubies parallel, which is a very tough chase. Because I thought it looked, when you see the same card for like 10 years, now it's an insert, so it's not like some of the comments, I don't see it quite as often, but you can kind of look at it and just go, there's something off with this card. And I couldn't figure out what it was. Well, it was the ruby red writing on the front, which normally the card doesn't have. So when I turned it over and I saw it was, serial numbered out of 500, I was like, wow, this is for $1. That's a hell of a deal. So, so you don't normally get cards like that at a shop. And then they gave us a discount when we checked out, which is even more weird. Usually retail is retail. So, and it wasn't like on boxes or, their mini helmets or, any of that. It was on singles, but still it was nice to get a deal.
That really shocked me.
Yeah, it surprised me too. And all these shows that we go to all these months, I very rarely find any Favre stuff.
Yeah.
It's just people just don't sell it. They hang on to it, or they, lot it out, or whatever they're doing with it. Especially like decent inserts and stuff. I just never see them. So, so it was kind of fun to go there and get to pick through some of those. And they were really, really well priced, even before the discount. I did pick up a Garbage Pail Kids pack. How did Jenny like her Garbage Pail Kids?
She got a chuckle out of them, yeah.
She did? Yeah. Did she get anything cool?
There was nothing special. She did have one damaged card in there too, which was kind of a bummer. But
that sucks.
Put a smile on her face still, so that was the goal.
What's so frustrating about that is you only get like 5 cards in a pack these days, and like one's damaged. It's $4. It's $1 per card, and one's damaged. Come on, let's go, Tops.
And it wasn't just a little thing; it was like an inch section, like an accordion on the bottom border of the card. It was a weird kind of like something clamped onto it. But all the other cards in the pack were fine.
I've had other cards like that. I've even had them where it's like all crimped on the top, so it got into like the wrapper crimping. That's just par for the course. You're going to have stuff that gets damaged.
The one person I felt bad for on the day was Cardboard Critters. He had to deal with us all day. I don't think he'll do that ever again. That was he probably is regretting that choice. Especially when we were sitting at the table, just kind of riffing off each other. And,
and
I can tell he is like, "Are you guys gonna keep doing this all day?"
I noticed he had a comment in here right away about Ben Simmons. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah, and it was funny because you'd sent something to me about, oh look, Ben Simmons is all over the place, and I'm like, yeah, he had a big game or two that whatever before. I was like, go figure. After we're putting the guy down, that's what you get. I don't think he's going to have a strong card market because of any of that. But
even so, though, with him having the big game, that's what brought him on like the Talking Head shows in the morning I was watching. But what they were emphasizing is don't get too excited because he can't stay on the floor.
Right. Yeah, he's always hurt. There's just a lot of players like that, especially basketball. I think it's harder because these guys are so big, and doesn't take much to roll an ankle or a knee or something like that when you're in a start and stop, hardwood floor game. But yeah, so we'll see if he can make it last. I don't know. Zion has the same problems,
Yeah.
He gets out there when he gets out there, he's dominant, but then he then he's out for 3 months or whatever. Like, what good is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have a couple other topics we want to cover tonight, but I think the show was great. I'd go back to an Eau Claire show again. I know the Best Western one is a bigger one.
Maybe once a year.
Yeah, maybe once a year or so. I'd like to get down to Madison again. We're going. What's the one we're doing in February? That's the Winneconne.
The first Bowman, if you will, or rookie show of Winneconne Card Show at the Fit and Feather.
The Fit and Feather. It's supposed to be a pretty good one. 140 tables, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to that. I like the herd show. We've been to a few new ones this year, so I think we'd like to expand upon that. What I think would be really cool at some point, and the channel would have to grow quite a bit to get to this, but it would be cool to be able to just go around the country to different card shows all the time.
Yeah.
And video the experiences and just see the differences between the different shows and stuff. I think that would be really fun, and not like the high flyer guys that run around and do that and they're buying the $10,000 cards. Like us, just run around buying our junk. I think it'd be tons of fun. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Maybe we can get to that point someday. All right. So our other topics, we want to talk a little bit about the post office and the fancy standard envelope program and the goods and bads about that and what we might be able to potentially bring to our little show here with that. A little bit about the booking for the National, which was quite a fiasco. I tried to book a hotel for about an hour on the way to Eau Claire and with no success. And then talk a little bit about switching gears now that the NFL is ending and hockey's getting to playoffs and basketball's getting to playoffs and soccer's getting to cup tournaments and baseball spring training is a month away now. I think some pitchers and catchers have reported already, I heard, which sounds weird.
Well, some of them go there early, but I think officially they have to report like the 15th or something like that.
Yeah, February, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So just, this is that big change time of year. So I think it would be smart to cover that a bit too. But before we get into that, should we say hi to all our chatters?
Let's do it.
And see what's going on. Cardboard Critter says, when it comes to Ben Simmons, I am buying. Hey, I have some Ben Simmons to sell you. That's what I'll say on that one. If you're a buyer, I'm a seller.
Yep. We got what you're looking for.
We got the goods. Troy says, good evening, everyone. At least he didn't call us gentlemen, so that's good.
Yeah.
Weston is here. He says hello. And what's that player's name again? Rudy Tialabez or something?
Rowdy Tellez.
Tellez, yeah. I got a card of him this week, so I actually know who that is now. Odd Merchants Vintage says he has a schedule of Crown as well. Need to sell about 1,500 $1.99 cards to cover it. Yeah, they're pretty expensive. I did a root canal. I've been blessed with very, very strong teeth. I don't really have problems with them. I had a couple fillings a few years ago, and that's it. I haven't really had anything since. And I had a root canal a few years ago, and they kept trying to convince me that I need to buy this crown. Oh, you're going to crack this tooth once the root, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not spending $3,000 on that. And I haven't had any problems with it. So, and that was, well, geez, I had that procedure done the day we went to court to finalize our adoption. Isn't that crazy? Said a root canal in the morning, and then I went to court in the afternoon. Yeah, it was quite a day. All a success. Everything went well, but yes. But yeah, I was like, nah, you're not going to con me into that. So it's kind of funny that, that might be coming up for you now. You'll have to decide whether or not you want to pay for that, I guess.
Yeah.
Cardboard Critter says he was happy as well making the trip with you guys. It was definitely a great day.
Actually, Goat Coffee House too.
The what?
The
Goat Coffee House. Yeah, which was really good. It was a nice little place. Good coffee. Was only about 2 miles away, something like that from the mall.
Old downtown.
Charlie says maybe we can get a bulk deal on some crowns. I don't think they work that way.
No,
No,
not everything.
nor do you guys go to the same dentist, I'm guessing. MD says, yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 back to you. Degen Terp is here. Evening all, amazing videos. Love seeing all your pickups. Yeah, I do too. That pickups video was like 3 hours long. It was insane.
That was the Mega XL pickups.
You know what? Well, normally I chop them down and just kind of like if I have a big box of random stuff like that, I'll just be like, well, here's like a little stack so you can see what it's about. And I've been getting messages of from people saying, hey, just show us every card. I put it on in the background. It's let it rip. So I decided, okay, fine. I'm going to do that. I'm going to post now that I have real internet here, I'm going to post a 3-hour video to YouTube and let people decide. If you want to watch it all, great. If you want to skip through, that's great too. So,
yeah.
And I kept the vintage Star Wars specifically at the end so that it would be easy to go to if somebody was really interested in saying that, which was really my big buy for the weekend. You and I had done a co-op deal, which I thought was a good move.
Yeah.
The cards were a little overpriced at 50 cents. They were a lot of his personal rip cards, so I knew it would be hard to really get him down on those prices. But I figured if we could kind of work together on it, we happened to meet at the boxes together anyway, so it just sort of worked out well that way. And I think we got about 350 cards for $120. So we got them down to about 30 cents ish.
Yeah.
And I was pretty okay with that based on some of the stuff we were getting.
Yeah. We've done that a couple times now too, where we've worked together at a show. It's a lot of times one of the last tables we're at. We're both winding down, and we're not finding a lot individually to make that big bulk deal, and we typically just look at each other and say, "Want to bulk together?" and it works out.
One of the things I was surprised with there is how much vintage there was. We don't hardly ever see any up here at shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hit that table for a while, the baseball vintage table. We had a little football and hockey too, but it was mostly baseball.
Yeah. Odd Merchant says, did you guys stop in Chippewa Falls and visit the Liney's Brewery? We did not. I've been there before, though. I do a lot of...
I love it.
A little side hobby of mine, if you guys want to get to know me better, I guess. I do whiskey tours every few months with some friends, and we one time we did the Liney's Brewery too. So not with that particular group of friends, but I've done the Liney's tour before. So I do like that kind of stuff. We kind of stopped doing. Now we just kind of go do whiskey tastings and things because basically the way you make whiskey is the same every single place. So it's like we're doing these tours, and you're like, yeah, this is our still, and this is where we cut the heads and the tails, and this is what we do with the parts we want to reuse, and so on and so forth. But yeah, anyway,
it was mentioned though, Odd Merchants, we did talk about
I just don't think it would have really fit with the time, and weather was kind of an issue, driving and stuff. So we didn't really want to stay the night if we weren't going to have another day of show to go to. That really wouldn't have been worth it. Although I think that show in St. Paul looks really interesting. I would go to that one.
It does, yeah.
And that's only about a 3.5 hour drive. So maybe we'll do that one at some point. Joe is here. Good evening, boys. Good evening to you. At least you didn't call us gentlemen. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
We're earning their respect.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so foggy we didn't know where Chippewa Falls was. Chippewa Fell is more like it, right? Everything was right off the map.
I see 2 white lines. I'm just going to stay between them, and hopefully nothing jumps out in the middle.
We couldn't even see the exits. We were trying to find an exit to get something to eat or take a leak, whatever. And we couldn't even see that. So that made it kind of exciting.
So I drove, and I wouldn't say it was a white knuckler, but my one concern was just deer because there wasn't a lot of lead time to see them. But I only saw one the whole trip, actually. There was one in a ditch one time. I didn't even say anything to anyone because when I saw it, we were already, pretty much on it. But I was happy that was all I saw.
Yeah. And where I live, and Cardboard Critters can attest to this because he saw a lot of that when he was driving to my house early in the morning. But we have deer all over the place here. We have 10, 12 acres or whatever with a creek by me, and we have a couple of deer families that have been living here for years and years and years. So I'm just used to looking for them at this point. So yeah, last thing you want to do is hit a deer on the highway. That's a pretty poor end to the night. He says he'll travel with us again, so I guess he didn't get enough punishment in one day. We'll have to work harder next time.
It's because he likes a good stop at Arby's.
So who doesn't? Arby's, they have the meats, yo. One of the things that I thought was really fun was on the way back, we sort of played a what would you do game, and I had a bunch of offers that I received. I had a bunch of offers I could send, and I have the way I do it and the pricing that I like to do it, and I kind of tossed them out to Charlie and Brian just to see how they would do it. So, for example, I have a card listed at $4.99. It's a card I only have one copy of. They offered me 3. What would you go back with? That kind of thing. So that was kind of fun to sort of bounce that off of each other and just kind of see how we all do things and do them a little differently, but also a lot the same. Success breeds success. So generally you'll have a lot of the same types of activities as well. Odd Merchant says he had a case at Babe Ruth Gold Foil at a big league that looked like it was a Ripple potato chip. Oh no! Only card in the hanger like it. Sent it to Tops, and they sent me a Riley Green red foil. No way. That's not good. You would think a card like that they would have a backup copy. They could just send you a clean one. I mean, I don't know if it was serial numbered or not, but outside of that, they should be able to fix something like that. Joe says there's no more Emmitt Smith cards because Cooter scraped them all up. I sell a ton of Emmitt Smith. Basically, I buy Cowboys like mad. There's just a huge collector market for it. And those early to mid 90s years where they were so dominant. The other thing that I think people forget about Emmitt Smith, and I'm not sure why, but he is the all-time leading rusher for yards, and like by a lot. And I don't know that that record will get broken. So I feel like that he's a pretty solid investment that way. And a lot of the cards, because he's not super flashy and he's not a quarterback, a lot of the cards get tossed into 5 1/4. I mean, I was getting Emmitt Smith, Fleer Ultra, not that easy to pull inserts out of those boxes, for 30 cents. Yeah. I feel like you really can't go wrong with that. Much rather have the Ruth. Yeah, I would think so.
I'd say so.
I mean, no disrespect to Riley Green, but I doubt he's Babe Ruth. What's up, guys? Nice pickups from the show. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching the videos. Obviously, I would hope most of you on here are subscribed to Charlie's channel. If not, Charlie can throw it in the comments again. And he's going to be doing some more pickups videos and that kind of thing as well. So we'll both be sharing on our own channels as well. Bill says, yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 Bill. Welcome to the show. Going to Chicago for the Sports Spectacular in March. I am not.
Neither am I.
Now, the more and more I hear about that show and the cost and everything else, the more and more it doesn't sound like it's the right place for me. I honestly really like the smaller shows. I feel like a lot of times we're buying from not dealers, but it's just guys just trying to get cards back out there that they don't want, that they ripped.
Product.
Yeah, or it's stuff they ripped a while ago that they had fun with at the time. Now they're just trying to get rid of. I feel like we can get better prices and some different kind of selections of cards versus just hitting the straight up dealers, which is generally what you're going to have at a Sports Spectacular. Now, That being said, there's nothing wrong with a big show by any measure. The national, I loaded up. I ended up with 5,000 cards or so I took away from there. Really good deals on stuff. A lot of it I still have to list 6 months later and 7 months later now. But, that was the other thing. I had it penciled in that I was going to Oak Creek this weekend down in the Milwaukee area, a couple hours away from here. And messaged you, Charlie, and I said, do we want to go to this thing? And I'm like, I don't feel like I need to. I have enough inventory right now and have other things to do this weekend. I'm still finishing up my office. And
yeah, we've got new furniture coming in the living room on Saturday, so that's going to roll.
There you go.
It's not good when your kids are like, Dad, the couch just sparked and there was a poof of smoke. So I had to finally give in to 2 years of my wife asking for new living room furniture.
Yeah, and the stuff's just not as built to last as it used to be. So there's that part too. But yeah, my daughter's got a birthday party she's going to. I have I'm finishing a laundry room project with my wife, just some final details, some painting things and stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like being around the house is gonna have more value for me right now. And like I said, I have so much stuff to list. I list like mad. And by the way, I'm over 34,000. I sent Charlie an image earlier today. Finally reached over that 1,000 plateau. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of wait a little bit on getting to the next one. I really like going to a show like once a month or every 3 weeks or so. It seems to be kind of perfect. I sort of it kind of gives me those 3 weeks to get the stuff listed I bought at the previous show and get a few other things listed, catch up on some videos. And because that's the other thing, it's demanding social media wise, because I have to make a video of the show and then make a pickups video. And then, there's just a lot involved. And we just were out of town for an entire day last week. Emmett was just an average RB with the greatest O-line ever assembled, opening wide gaps. I don't completely disagree with that, but the results are there. He has the most yards of any running back, so that's still the top of the pile. Yes, I believe there are many running backs that were better than him. He also, you have to give him some credit though. He's also kind of Iron Man. He played a lot of years, and not a lot of injuries, and yeah, he was good.
In all those aspects, he's a lot like Derek Jeter.
Moving on. Non-merchants just dislikes the Cowboys. There's a lot of people that feel that way. I don't like or dislike the Cowboys. I just know that Emmitt Smith holds an important record and his cards sell. And he played for a team that's super popular and has a lot of collector base.
Yeah.
So that's how I play that angle. Troy says, great advice today, Adam, on your video. I'm already looking at lots for college football on eBay. Awesome. Did you watch my video today, Charlie?
I did.
Of course you didn't.
Technically, I watched it last night.
What?
Yeah.
How? I didn't post it until like 2:00 this afternoon.
No, you posted it last night.
No, that was the show video.
Oh, wait, that was the pickup one. So we watched the pickup one last night, and then, I watched the one you did this morning. You did talk about college uni cards and things like that. Yeah. So I did have that on in the background this morning. Yeah.
So I kind of did what do I do now? The football season's basically done, and we're in that little transition period. So I thought that would be a good topic to put some feelers out there. I've been through this for a few years now. I kind of know where I want to go as things change, which at this past show and even the show before that, which is why I was buying a lot of basketball, a lot of vintage, a lot of baseball. And then other than just kind of buying the deals on the hot football players, that were still in the playoffs and stuff, I've kind of let those go for a bit for now. Troy says Tellez was my Blue Jays first. Brewers got sloppy second.
And they were sloppy.
That's kind of the Brewers. Let's go. Great show. Watching from San Diego. Wow, that's a lot of excitement. I love it. SCX Sports Cards has joined us. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Oh, we lost Charlie for a second here.
I don't know what just happened there.
We lost your video feed, dude.
Yeah, I know. Like Stu did something.
I don't know, but it's just like a pulsating Scrooge on the screen now, so it's kind of interesting.
Pulsating?
Yeah, like when you talk, it like throbs. Wait, here
yeah.
There you are.
So
there you are. Charlie's gonna get some good internet one of these days. We'll see.
So this is crazy. Every time I set Stu down on my laptop, that happens. He's got an electromagnetic personality, I believe.
I guess, yeah. Well, we're drawn to him, right? I mean,
that was weird.
All right, Prince Fielder was one of his favorites. Yeah, there's no way that guy's career was going to last too long. Power hitter with a bad back. That's not a great comment. And he was a big guy too. Tellez photo is when he was pitching and clinched the Brewers playoff berth. LOL. It was fun to watch. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like it when field players pitch once in a while. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
College football cards are nice buys right now. A transfer portal makes it interesting. Yep, exactly. Yeah, and it's counterintuitive because for years and years and years we've been told don't buy the college uniform cards, and I found a way to play them pretty well and you can get them pretty cheap. So I found a way to kind of buy them and be able to resell them and things like that. And a lot of the university products are kind of popular now, like the Bowman Chrome U and stuff like that. So it's not what it was. I think there were all these like kind of generic sets like Prism Draft. Like, what do you need Prism Draft for? There's a real Prism set every year. Why would I buy the draft cards? And maybe you buy the draft for a quick flip, but then as soon as the regular card's out, then nobody wants the draft. And, so I think that kind of really hurt it. But now there's some really good, solid, just university player cards. Are cheaper. You get a chance at some of these guys before, they even get to a draft. And it's good stuff. Buy some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Troy says, at Ryan Sells, I watch both show every morning. He turned me to look at eBay lots. There are a lot of nice deals right now. That's basically my entire business was built off of buying eBay lots.
Yeah.
So I do believe at this point, just because I have so much inventory, it's my best opportunity has been at shows because I can cherry pick which cards I want. But yes, if you're just trying to gather inventory and get some good deals, or consequently look for stuff you can't find at shows or you don't have shows to get to, I still think eBay lots is by far the best way to do that. Costs you more though. You have to pay shipping and taxes and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
consider.
I remember early on I tried to shop a lot more off of eBay, but I fell down a lot of those singles traps early on. And it's really like you've got to be pretty disciplined shopping those lots. You do an amazing job with it. I still do not have that skill built up, but they're out there if you can find them. And also shout out to Bo. He's got a good show there every morning. I like to turn it on in the morning as well. It's interactive, much like this one. I know this morning he gave us a shout out as well. So if you're here because you heard about our show on Bo's show, thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that, Bo. If you're watching, thanks so much. He has 1 million Cubs cards. We say Bo, but that's not the name of his channel. It's 1 million Cubs cards project, and he's got an eBay store he sells full time. Kind of funny. Did I ever tell you how I met Bo?
I don't think so.
Okay, just quick sidebar here. We'll get to some more chat in a minute here, but I did the Green Bay show, the very first Green Bay show at the KI Center. Me and a buddy just set up. I was just casual. I was getting into some like higher end Favre stuff and just kind of flipping some things. I had showcases at the show. That goes to show you how long ago this was. Anyway, Bo had come all the way up from Madison to set up at the Green Bay show, and he had his quarter boxes. And I did a little we both had tiny channels at the time. I think I had just hit 1,000 subscribers. He was at like 1,300.
Okay.
So I had just gotten to the point where I could actually shoot YouTube live, because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can't do YouTube live until you have a certain number of subscribers.
Yeah.
I think they just don't want to have to monitor like what's being filmed. You know what I mean? It's having something live is an extra responsibility for YouTube. Anyway, so I was just kind of walking around before the show, shooting a live and all this, and Bo kind of stopped me and he's like, "Oh, hey, you do YouTube and stuff?" He's like, "How do you get more subscribers?" So we just kind of talked about YouTube a little bit, and then he had quarter boxes, and I said, "Yeah, I'm thinking of doing quarter boxes next show. How's that go for you?" And, "Oh, that's all I do at shows. I sell full time and all this stuff." And I was like, "Well, I want to sell full time too." And then we ended up kind of meeting at a dollar box, like in the middle of the show somewhere. And we were digging through, and I'm like, "Oh, I found this really cool, LeBron James card." And he's like, "Oh, that's the kind of stuff I buy. You buy like me." So it's kind of funny. That was like way super. I didn't know he had a show. I didn't, none of that stuff. It was way super early on. So and we've just kind of kept up ever since, sort of keeping track of what we're doing and what projects we're looking at, and talked to him a little bit about starting our own show here. And it's just doesn't seem like it would fit in Green Bay like it does for him in Madison. So I never pursued that any further, but maybe somewhere down the line, we'll see. A monthly Green Bay show, that is. We have a bunch of shows around here. There's a monthly Appleton one, which isn't too far. We have the Luxembourg one, which I think is kind of suffering now. Although AJ Dillon was there this weekend. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he collects cards, and he had a table set up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, AJ Dillon is a running back for the Green Bay Packers. He collects, I think, mainly his own cards, like one-of-ones and stuff like that. He likes that kind of thing. And he was set up at one of our little shows that we have monthly around here. But I think that can kind of detract from the show too, because then a lot of people are just
saying that's got to be kind of distracting.
Yeah. So I didn't go to the show, but yeah, kind of interesting to have that angle. It would have been decent for content. Maybe I could have got a quick little interview out of it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, that was all sidebar stuff. Going back to the eBay lots things, I still buy a lot of eBay lots, but basically I've kind of been able to manage it to the point of just when I need a certain lot of things that I can't get around here. Like I can't find big chunks of Derek Jeter stuff, 150, 200 Derek Jeter cards. So I'll go online and I'll buy a chunk of those when I sell a ton of Jeter. So when that kind of dwindles down, I'll buy another lot of that, or big lots of non-sport. Normally I don't find a big lot, big chunky buy at a show of vintage Star Wars, so I'll buy a big lot of that, that's kind of what I reserve it for. Or like odd cards. I just bought a lot of what is this stuff? Goodwin Champions, and it's like mid 2010 stuff. So it's okay. Golf. I like Goodwin stuff. I like the little bit older sets where they had more color to them and stuff.
The splash of color.
Yeah. So some boxing and things like that. Those are, and you don't want to pay like a quarter for these out of a quarter box. They're not that fantastic of resellers. They're just kind of to round out the store a little bit. But when you can get a lot of like 300 for $15 or something, that's when you want to do it. Like this. Here's a little mini speed skater. Yeah.
Who is it though?
Huh?
Who is it?
Mamie Biney, Maame Biney, Biney.
I don't know that name.
Yeah. Won a bronze medal in the 500 meters at the 2017 World Junior Short Track Speed Skating Championships. From Ghana. And now is on the U.S. senior team from Ghana. That's a 2018 Goodwin's champion card. So I sell one of my biggest sellers, and I haven't really talked about this much. I guess you'll see it on sales day stuff here and there, but I sell a ton of running cards, like long distance runners and sprinters and stuff. So I don't want to pay a lot for those, but I like to get them, and I like to get that kind of stuff in lots, and eBay seems to be the best spot to do that. Anyway,
interesting. Those Goodwin Champions, I sold one of the model cards in back-to-back weeks now.
Yeah, the models do pretty well. Some cheerleader cards do okay. I keep waiting for what's that LSU cheerleader that's got like 60 million followers or whatever.
I have no idea.
She is like this huge Instagram or whatever. I'm waiting for cards of her because her
I haven't
stuff.
heard of this. I gotta
Yeah,
check
you know who I'm talking about. Hold on a second. I'll find
cheerleader.
Cheerleader. Somebody's gonna put
Something in the chat before we get to it.
yeah. Olivia Dunn. Yeah, Olivia Dunn. She's all over the place. She's does flips and stuff. I guess she's kind of maybe not cheerleader. She might be gymnastics.
Gymnastics, yes. Okay, yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, here we go. Olivia Dunn. Yeah, everybody knows who she is. I don't really follow stuff like that, but anyway, I think that that kind of stuff is stuff that is good to jump on. Don't generally have a lot of products. They're, the fans are looking for stuff.
Yeah.
Volleyball cards, I'll get 8 copies of a certain volleyball player, and somebody will buy all 8 copies of it. They're interesting. Dave Pearson says football cards from 95 to 15 in the new releases is what's selling best. I agree. Although I've got a lot of pickup in golf. I sold a bunch of golf cards last week, and baseball and basketball, actually.
Okay.
I sold a ton of stuff out of that top-loaded box I got from the card shop. I really thought I was going to get stuck with a lot of that, and I've sold a bunch of it. I had a 5-card, well, it was in my video today. I had a 5-card sale of a Latrell Sprewell Stadium Club rookie, 2 Alonzo Mourning Stadium Club rookies, and 2 Skybox Alonzo rookies. I mean, I got $10 for those. Those cards are virtually free. So
I thought it was good stuff we got out of there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was buying them at the end, it was all the stuff nobody wanted. So
yeah,
I thought maybe they would kind of sit. But when I sold 2 of the vintage, a Jim Palmer and a Gaylord Perry too, 1973 tops. So yeah, it's good. I need to get more vintage baseball. That's something that I have to do this year. The 3-hour show and tell from Eau Claire was great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. What's up, guys? Love the content. Gambit Investing is here. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you.
What's up?
What's up? Oh, that one hurt my throat. I'm an old guy. I can't do this stuff anymore. All right. MD Sports Card says save a couple hours, come to Stevens Point instead. I did go to Stevens Point last year, and that show didn't do that well for me. It was middle of summer. It was really hot in there. But I'll probably get back to that one at some point. Picked up a ton of Aaron Rodgers' second-year cards really cheap from a dealer there, and I did pretty well on those. Now, let's see. Old merchants. My primary focus is smaller shows. Bigger shows are all slabs and very little dollar box values. A lot of sellers who look up comps on phone, not price. Agreed. That's kind of been my experience too. They're literally, guys that are investing and flipping and that kind of thing. They're there to make the profit. Not, I rip a bunch of stuff. This is stuff that I don't want. I just want to sell it so I can get more money to rip. A little different motivation. Brian says, been hammering away at the listings, and I picked up from Eau Claire and the New Franken show. So he did go to the New Franken show. That's how I found out AJ Dillon was there, Brian told me.
Okay.
Weston wants to know, do you make anything off of YouTube views or ads yet, Adam? I do a little bit. Really, views, like number of views, isn't that important. It's more watch time, because the longer somebody's watching, the more ads and stuff will pop up. And then if the person watching has like YouTube subscription where they don't get ads, then you get like a chunk of their subscription fee, essentially. When I say a chunk, I mean like 2 cents. It's, yeah, it's not going to supply my retirement by any means, which is fine. I don't do it for that. It's nice. It's nice to get a little something for your efforts. It is a good chunk of work to do YouTube. So, but it's growing. It's growing. Average Dave says, wish that guy in your video had prices on his vintage 80s football. Looked like a lot of fun stuff in there. Yeah, me too. I was planning to buy some stuff from that, but put a pile aside and I'll give you a price. I really don't have time for that. So just kind of move on from that. Some of his stuff wasn't very well organized, so I would have had to spend a lot of time digging. And then if we can't come up with a price, now I just wasted my time at an out of town show. So, let's see. Joe wants to know if anybody heard from Urethra. Yeah, I was wondering that too. She was on here every week. So,
this is like a
yeah, it's been 3 weeks? You said? Been 3
weeks?
Maybe she'll join us a little bit later. She always has some fun things to talk about. She's the one who gave me the Cooter nickname too. So
yeah.
I am Grumpy123 is here. Welcome to the show. Pulled a Jason Travis Kelsey 21 Legacy Generations insert from a $5 for $1 box at Eau Claire. Nice. Saturday and sold it for $25 the next day. Digging for dollars pays. Yeah, absolutely. I would have bought that too. That's a great card.
Yeah.
Even at $1, that would have been a good buy. To get her on a $5 for $1. That's awesome. Good for you. Troy says our college basketball card good buys as well. I don't really buy college basketball, but I would think that market has some strength because there's actually a pretty good viewing of college basketball, with the tournament and all that stuff. But I'm probably not the best one to ask on that. I don't really do much in that area.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily target it. I will get some, and I believe some of it sells for me. Like, not a ton. I was just looking at some of my current sales to see if I had one recently, but I think there are people that like, if you're collecting a player, you want the whole scope of that player's playing career, right? Which you're going to look for some college cards. So I think there's a market for them, but I don't think they're as big a seller.
And I think it's situational too. One of the things I mentioned in my video was Christian McCaffrey. So like he still has college, draft in the new draft sets. He gets cards of his college uniform. And I think that the collector base is really 49er fans. So they don't care that much about his other early cards because those are all in Carolina uniforms. So it really depends on, I don't know, on where you go. Now, like Baker Mayfield, does everybody want Browns cards of him, or do they want, Tampa Bay cards? So it can change. Just because they're on a pro team doesn't mean they're always going to be on that pro team either. Especially not nowadays. College athletes are getting more attention. They're getting more freedom. They're getting more financial success early on. They're getting contracts. You're going to see more college athletes doing commercials. They have you don't really need like TV cameras in front of you. They have all their own social media accounts. And so I think it's going to loosen up a little bit, and the college stuff will be a little bit more accepted.
I do feel I sell more college football than any of the other sports. I will sell a little bit of college basketball unis on the pictures, and then really little to no baseball non-MLB stuff.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. I have the same experience. The only exception to the baseball is I do sell a decent amount of like Team USA cards.
Okay.
And those are generally college players, right?
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand.
Well, they used to be. Not anymore. No.
Yeah. Well, like the World Baseball Classic stuff, but it's still a lot of young guys that are getting into the USA team stuff. 2016 Topps opening day did Prince Fielder dirty. I don't know what you're referring to. Is that like a funky looking card or something?
Yeah, I don't remember. That was in my collecting years.
Charlie said he'll look it up for us because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
My shoulder hurts.
And we want Prince Fielder. Huh? Do you remember like a lenticular Topps opening day Prince Fielder that I had?
Must have been him striking out or something, right?
So 2016 Topps opening day OD 75 Prince Fielder. Oh, that's the Texas one, and he's in the middle of his backswing with it's like a full belly shot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sometimes I wonder who chooses those photos, and
yeah,
I don't think about them too much when I'm looking at the cards because I look at like the art of the card, the cut, the refractor, the player, and that kind of thing. But sometimes I'll show what I picked up to Bree when I get home, and she'll be like, "Why did they choose that photo?" I'm like, "You know what?
Yeah.
You're right. That's a really dumb picture."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was sleeping in the art department, I guess. Hey, Troy, at the moment I would say yes, but as we get closer to March Madness, the big stars and big teams, the prices will jump up. That seems to make sense to me.
Yeah.
I kind of do that with the pro. I don't really do that much basketball. It was when I kind of got back into this, it was so overpriced because it was the first thing to really skyrocket. And I don't watch any of it. I don't follow any of it. So I'll just, if I find a Giannis in a dime box or quarter box, I'll pick that up, or some Luka, or, I stick to kind of what I do in most of the sports. I stick to my stuff that I know the names and I know I can resell them. I sell a lot of Luka. I sell Ja, obviously Jordan, Shaq, Rodman. I kind of have my names that I stick with, and I'm not buying RJ Barrett. I'm not buying, Kobe White. I don't think those players are gonna matter in the long run, and unless it's something you can flip right now, I'm not buying Ben Simmons.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to give away Ben Simmons. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think I would think college basketball products should be able to do pretty well based on the fact that it has a pretty good fan base. Adam, do you have an LLC or is it a sole proprietorship? Is there a way you track purchases at shows for taxes? Yes, I've had an LLC forever, so I run everything through that. And as far as like keeping track for what I buy, I basically just have my total dollar amount that I spent at the show. And then that's my cost of goods price that I keep track of on a spreadsheet. So try to keep it pretty simple. You need to know what you spent and you need to know what you made. As long as you got those two numbers, you can kind of fill in the middle from there. Thanks, Olivia Dunn, Livy Dunn, gymnastics. Leaf has her cards. Bugger. I don't really buy Leaf stuff. Yeah. Although, like, if I found a Leaf Olivia Dunn card somewhere for a decent price, I would buy it. Taylor Swift Chiefs first Bowman card. I don't know. That might be coming. My wife thinks she's overrated, but would still get her card. Yeah, for sure. If there's a Taylor Swift 101 Super Bowl patch auto, I guarantee it would go for $100K. I mean, sure, why not? RPA to be more specific, since she is a Chiefs rookie fan. The vintage football guy you're talking about has been one of the best dealers I've bought from in recent memories. Don't be scared to buy from guys that don't have their cards priced. Common? I don't know what that means. Oh, common misconception in the hobby, a lot of hidden gems, especially with that much volume. Yeah, probably, but I need to know the price up front, all right? I'm shop. That's just how I do it. Got that vintage 80s guy from $35 down to $15. I will now avoid any dealer who doesn't price their cards. So Brian did buy some cards from him, and he got a okay price on them. I mean, I saw the cards and stuff; they seemed all right. He had $35 on them, which was way too high. Brian got him to 15, which is good because that's a reasonable price. But if Brian didn't know what he was doing, he would have paid 35 and then overpaid, and he didn't know going in what the cost was going to be.
Right.
Some people are just intimidated in that situation. They want to know what they're going to be facing. For me, a lot of it just comes down to time, and most of the time when I'm going through the box, I'm money and data planning in my head, and I need to have some figures to go in with. Odd says, I think college basketball, you have to stick with the bigger fan bases. And I was going to point this out. That I agree. I think that's probably your best move. Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, Georgetown. Like some of those college basketball schools might be a better play. They get a lot more TV time and that kind of thing too. And they generally have better teams. They're probably going to be in the top 16, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sporto 20MI is here. He says, yo.
Thanks for the sub, Sporto.
You left out a yo. Weston says, if you have any cards you've been sitting on for a year or two and can't move, it would be fun to do a viewer giveaway once in a while, maybe a pack of 10 low-end cards, easy to ship and entertaining. Yeah, I've talked about some giveaways here and there. I haven't really put anything together, but yeah, that would be kind of fun. I don't know that you guys want my junk I can't sell though. Probably not the greatest prize, but I was thinking it'd be fun to do like a contest or something down the road. So maybe we'll throw that in. Charlie and I have been talking about adding guests to the show. That's another kind of topic for tonight, and since we're an hour in on this, we should maybe talk about that. Do you want to talk about this at all, Charlie?
Sure. Yeah. So I recently had an opportunity to talk to an old acquaintance that I found out has some experience with the U.S. Postal Service, and since we talk a lot about eBay standard service and our experiences with that service, I started talking with this person quite a bit and asked them if they would be interested in coming on the show sometime to field some questions and talk through kind of how they look at it from the post office perspective. Because I found the conversation pretty interesting to see the workers' perspective on it. So we're efforting to maybe have this person on the show next week, hopefully. And we'll see how that goes. But we talk about a lot of different things, but the moral compass of the show is, or the whatever you want to call it, the heart of the show is really low end selling, and that includes all those factors. How do you pick them? How do you negotiate? How do you package them? How do you store them? So if we can certainly get some folks in that can talk about different aspects of what we do as a group, I think that would be great. So yeah, hopefully next week we will have some experience from the U.S. Postal Service that has knowledge of the eBay contract for standard envelope, has knowledge of the sorting systems, have knowledge of different postal clerks putting a case of outbound eBay standard envelopes into a bin and sending it back to the sender, and kind of why that happens and what are some of the things to look for.
So to sort of clue you in to why this even really became a thing, and I didn't share the photo with you, but I sent it to Charlie, but my local post office where I drop off all my envelopes and packages put together a huge bin of like 100 envelopes I had sent in a day and didn't even try to run them through the machine, just sent them all back to me, like, of course, a couple days later besides. So I started getting messages from customers saying, hey, did you mail this thing? And eBay customers are awesome. They're very understanding of it. There's weather situations this time of year. There's all kinds of things that can happen. They understand the post office isn't always very effective. And so I got this whole bin back, and now I put some in my mailbox. There's 2 different drop slots. at my hub post office here, I put some in there. I put some over at a grocery store that has a post office in it. And basically, what it came down to is that I have one really stickler front desk employee at my post office, and when she gets, if the bins get brought to her to do any sorting for the machine, she pulls them all out and won't even run any of them, and sends them all for more postage. Which, by the way, if that happens to you, don't just go in there. Like, I got a ticket in the mail saying, like, there's all this stuff for you to pick up and it's $45 postage. Don't go pay the postage. Demand the mail back, and just go remail it, which is exactly what I did. And every envelope has already gotten to its correct destination. So, yeah, we think it might be a good idea to have someone on here who can speak for that process and help us understand, because I don't want it to be the post office versus us. As a matter of fact, on this channel, a lot of time we defend the post office. Yeah. I think they actually do a pretty good job considering volume and cost and, the logistics and going in weather and all these other things. I think they do a pretty good job, but to help us better understand as well what their part of the process is and what their expectations of us is. And we can then also state our case on what our position is on our side, so that postal employee has, better understanding what we're trying to do. I think we can all work together a little bit better. So
a little teaser of that conversation, as we talked through the eBay standard envelope and the fact that they tell us we can ship, top loaders through there. I pointed that out and they said, yep, I'm aware of that contract. But it's got to be flexible. Is your stuff flexible? Because I mentioned we have a lot of viewers that talk about getting things back. And I took out a top loader and I said, yeah, I think it's pretty flexible. I mean, look at the bend in that. That's pretty flexible to me. And they said, well, yeah, that's flexible. But technically, that sorter needs to be able to fold that in half for it to meet our guidelines. So little different from what eBay has contracted compared to what the typical processor or clerk is told that is ideal for the machine. So we should be able to talk through kind of that discrepancy and then what happens. There were other things I found out that I actually found kind of surprising, how much they pull out of the machine just on their own. So I think it'll be a good conversation. Hopefully they can make it. Hopefully they don't tell too many embarrassing personal stories about me, because this is someone I go back to about 1992 with in my high school days even. So, and has a lot of knowledge of me in my home in those years.
So get those questions ready for this, hometown person who's known Charlie forever.
Yeah.
What did she used to call you? Chuck Dog or something?
Charlie Dog.
Charlie Dog. So yeah, we've got a new nickname for you already then too. So bonus there. Does she know about the goat?
She doesn't know about the goat yet. Maybe she does tonight, because I told her about the show, gave her a link. I said, sometimes we go down a rabbit goat hole, and if you want to know what that means, you should check out a few of the past episodes.
Right, there you go. Yeah, because she might be walking into something she's not prepared for.
Yeah. No, I let her know the skinny on it.
Odd Merchant says, also, can you get some great NBA stars and premium sets like Immaculate or NT on card autos for dirt cheap? I bought a rookie on card Cat College NT for $50 a few years back. Yeah, I agree. And I think they used to do like a college National Treasures product too, didn't they? I'm guessing that's not around anymore, but
I love it when we can get some of those singles from some of those higher end sets, because I quite, pointedly, I will never buy those high end sets in a box.
No,
it's not my price point.
No.
So when I can come home with a couple of those cards out of dollar boxes and stuff, I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I've found Immaculate cards, Inception. I mean, there's some decent sets, and even the base cards from those sets can do okay.
Yeah. I brought an Inception home Friday from Eau Claire, actually.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was in our freebie box.
Yeah, could have been.
So Jeff Wilson will take our Ben Simmons. I'm sure he will. I think he's got his hands full with his $3 million flashy card shop.
Yeah.
Keith has joined us. What's up, fellas? What's up, Keith? Thanks for joining us.
Whoa.
Appreciate you. Sporto says I would have added the third yo, but I didn't want to steal your thunder. Love it. Love it. Weston says that would be fun to have a postal worker on the show. Great idea. I think so too. Now, that being said, we are going to moderate the chat. We want to make sure that it's not us versus this postal employee and things like that. She would be doing this out of the graciousness of her heart and trying to help everybody, meet their goals. So we would want to make sure that we're all treating each other well. And not that I don't feel like you guys would. I'm just saying. So we might throw a moderator wrench on a couple of you to make sure that the chat gets monitored enough. MD says got to test every table out, regardless of priced or not. In my opinion, didn't look like there was near enough there to ignore tables, but that's just me. I'd already bought a lot there, so I was good if I didn't get anything from that dealer. Postal worker on the show is a great idea. That's very valuable. Well, there you go, Charlie. We've got our feedback on that one.
Yeah.
Charlie needs a crown and some new internet service. I agree. You know what you should do? You should keep your silver filling and then maybe attach like an antenna or something to it to help your reception.
Fiber optic.
Yeah. Light it up. Get a big glowing mouth.
Yeah.
I went to fiber optic. I don't know. It's been about 3 weeks now. I'll never go back. It's been amazing. That 3-hour video I uploaded took me 12 minutes.
Wow.
Upload. That would have taken me when I was uploading videos because your upload speed is always the slowest on cable because it's not built to send. It's built to receive.
Right.
But like let's say a half-hour video would take me like an hour to upload. So it would have been like 6 hours of upload on my old internet. It's crazy. Odd says I use a card saver 1 and penny sleeves. I quit using rigid top loaders. Haven't had any issues with them and the customers are happy. What I can tell you was in that big bin of stuff that I had, there was top loaded cards, there was card saver cards. It didn't matter. They pulled them all back out of there. So, and my one hesitation with the card savers is they're actually more flexible than a top loader, but I actually kind of don't like that. To me, the most important thing is still to get that card in good condition to the customer. I'm glad you've had a great experience with it. My feedback from my customers early on when I was kind of still working out what I was doing with materials is that they liked top loads. That's how most people keep their cards. And it was just kind of a nice bonus to get the card in a top load already, and they could just add it right to their collection.
Right.
So I'm going to continue to use top loads. Also, I feel like that's the best product, if you want to call it that, for me to get free. Because when I'm buying at shows, they're very rarely in card savers. They're in top loads.
Yeah.
So I don't pay. I mean, I have 4 giant stacks here right now that I got just because cards came top loaded. What the heck am I going to do with them if I don't use them for shipping? I don't top load any of my own collection. So I don't know. So to each his own. Odd also says if you use number 10 envelopes, they fold in half pretty easily. I like the smaller envelopes, so I'm going to stick with those.
Yeah, that was actually some feedback she gave me that I mentioned number 6 envelopes, and she said I would not use those.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it'd be interesting to see, what her rationale is.
The number expensive by quite a bit. Now, that being said, I use a ton of number 10 envelopes. It's just not for single cards. Single cards go in number 6s. When I have multiple cards, they go in these, so it's fine. It's you just have a couple of employees that are being difficult and want to reject those cards. There's no reason they can't go through and go. I send thousands out a week, and every 6 months I get a bin of them back, and I know exactly who it is that's doing it, and I'm not gonna call anybody out or anything, but I know the person. And anyway, so yeah, I'm just coming up with. I'm not going to change my shipping process, but I'm going to change how I get them to the mail system, I guess, a little bit. Charlie's using AOL dial-up.
What was that? You've got mail.
Also, in a number 10 envelope, you can fit 2 card savers side by side. You can ship 10 regular stock cards without much problems in the 2-ounce option. Yeah, I do that. Yep. Use my 2 card savers. I flip them over. I have the end to the end, the opening to the opening. I tape on both sides. I put my business card in. Yep, good to go. And I'm getting more and more and more and more multi-card orders than ever before. So I'm using a lot more. Actually, Charlie saw, because I sent him a picture of my jackpot. I've actually found boxes of envelopes at Walmart, which is a challenge.
That's the kind of pics Adam sends me, a cart full of envelopes.
Yeah, that's our version of dick pics, I guess. But I actually bought a big box of these this time. I was buying like the 40 count boxes, but I bought the 200 or the 150 count, 250 count, whatever it was. Obviously, it's a little cheaper when you buy the bigger quantity as well. But I just find I'm going through them a lot faster now. So it's kind of nice. Now being able to buy a bigger supply of them at a time is actually saving me a bit per envelope as well, which is good. DGen says we were trying to get a hotel through the show or just getting a hotel personally. Yeah, we were booking through the booking agent. I've always used them. I've been going to comic conventions forever, really large conventions, much bigger than the National Sports Card Collection convention even. And it's the way to go, booking through the housing company. But I couldn't find anything that had any availability. It was crazy.
It was an issue with your browser, though, right? That's what it ended up
being. Well, that's what I did a little research on. It said it was an issue with my browser. So then I tried to book with a different browser, and I still couldn't get it to go. So I don't know what was going on there. But then I asked Charlie if you could get something booked. And did you have to try a couple hotels, or was the first one you tried you were able to book?
It was the first one I tried. The only problem I had is I got stuck in kind of like the cart, like it wouldn't refresh every time, because if you recall, we were talking about the number of people that went. So then I went back to try and adjust the number of people that went, and before I knew it, I had 5 rooms in my cart, and you couldn't
have to remove them. Yeah.
So I had to close all my browsers, open up again, and go through the process again. But I had no problem, even with 5 rooms plausibly booked, being held for a possible reservation, I still had no problems getting one through.
Yeah, so it's so weird. And I've even booked through this booking agent several times, and I never had a problem. So the only thing I can think of is I thought of this after, but the card I was trying to book the room with expires before the convention. It expires in like May or June or something. So I'm thinking maybe that was it. It was like, oh, well, this isn't going to be good by the time the room tries to charge. I don't know.
That could be a problem.
Yeah. So I could have tried a different card, I suppose. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Charlie got a room. We're good to go. Bought my VIP ticket. So anybody who's going to be at the Cleveland show, we're excited to see you. We're driving there. So you probably get a bunch of really goofy sleep deprived videos, but it should be a good time.
And then didn't you say the auto features were released too? Who's going to be signing?
Yeah, they just announced Cal Ripken Jr. today, which I thought was pretty cool. And previously they had Manny Ramirez, and I think the freebie signers and stuff were announced previously. Because you get some like free autographs in your VIP bag. I don't do any of the autographs, so I usually just sell them. But if that's your thing, it's kind of fun. People to meet some of those athletes, old time athletes. Out of curiosity, how often do you guys buy something for your PC? Not very often anymore because I'm down to like really big stuff for the most part. Actually, that Star Rubies parallel insert that I just got this past weekend, I listed it and I'm kind of thinking, I don't think I have that one. And I like the Star Rubies inserts from Fleer Premium. So I'm going to actually pop that one out and throw it in my PC, especially since I got it for $1.
Yeah.
But I've got big stuff like this. So it's pretty rare I run into something like this, and I can't afford some of those cards regularly that I still want to collect for my PC. So not very often, once in a while. Usually as new sets come out, since I don't break any wax and stuff, if I can find like some Favre parallels or something at a show, I'll, a silver prism or something kind of basic, I'll set that aside for my PC. Do you guys ever do anything sports card related in Eastern Minnesota, Twin Cities shows, etc.? I haven't, but that was a little bit ago. We just talked about potentially looking at the St. Paul show, which I know is supposed to be a pretty good one. I'd be interested in going to that one anyway. So we'll see. It's kind of hard now with we probably won't do too many other like big travel shows until the national, because that's coming up. And I mean, it seems like it's far away. It's not. It's in July. So, by the time we get through everything else going on, and we have families. Charlie's got 2 kids. I've got a kid. We're married. We both own homes. Charlie has like recreational land. I have another small business I run outside this. I've got, my parents are moving next week. There's just a lot on our plates outside of just running around looking for cards. The mailer sometimes gets to the destination post office and they add postage to be paid by the recipient. Yes, I've had that happen once in a while. Correct. DGen Terp, I will be at the show. I am sort of local, Canton, Hall of Fame City, but work in downtown Cleveland. Awesome. Yeah, I think you were the one kind of giving us tips on like,
yeah.
And we were like, yeah, you're going to be our personal escort. When we get there, you're going to have to show us around.
Whoa, who said anything about escorts?
Well, Stuart needs some out of town action. He's a single guy. And he's a screamer too.
Whoa.
But yeah, we would. I've never been to Cleveland in my entire life. I think I've been through Cleveland before, but not like, wasn't there for like any period of time where I could actually see what was going on.
Yeah, we DGen Terp, we are not like right next to the event center or anything, and we're not even in Cleveland proper. Of course, the event center, is outside of town as well, but our hotel's booked up in Westlake, so just the configuration we needed and things we were looking for, that's where we ended up going.
Well, I think we're only like 3 miles away or something, so it's not.
Yeah, 5 to 7, something like that.
Yeah. So we'll either just drive in, each day, or we'll take an Uber, whatever we collectively decide would be the best move for us. Let's see what parking looks like. I think, didn't somebody say with the VIP you get a free parking pass or something?
Somebody did say that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that conversation a while ago. So we'll have to look into that. I don't remember when I bought my VIP. I don't remember it saying anything about a parking pass, but maybe that's something to follow. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about it. It'll be fun. I've been to a ton of nationals, probably 6 or 7 at this point, maybe 8, but they were all in Chicago. So, I mean, I live 3 hours away, and it's in Chicago every other year. So I just went on the years it was in Chicago, essentially. Joe wants to know what shipping service do we use before they came out with eBay Standard Envelope. I wasn't doing a ton of this before Standard Envelope. To be honest with you, Standard Envelope was one of the things when I looked into it, that made me realize you could do this as a viable business and make some money. Versus before, you were just putting a stamp on it and hoping for the best, and that got you screwed a lot. There's no way to file claims. I filed 2 claims last. By the way, I should give an update on this. Last week I talked about filing my first claim on a lost piece of mail. I filed claims on 2 deliveries last week that didn't make it, and I got paid on both claims pretty much instantly. Well, I shouldn't say instantly, like a day or 2 later. And they emailed me to tell me I had the money. It goes right into your PayPal account. It's great. So yeah, the only way to do it before would have been to just way overcharge for shipping and send it as a package, or buy a regular stamp rate, which today would be 68 cents. Pay 68 cents, put a stamp on, buy a roll of stamps, whatever. Put a sticker stamp on it and send it out. That's how you would have done it before eBay standard. CSW is here. He says he wouldn't recommend a Cleveland escort. Bad joke blaming Charlie.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, that is Charlie's fault. Parking is like being in a big mall. So I'm assuming she's referring to like a big ramp, right? I'm guessing. I wish eBay would come out with a better fee structure for lower value cards, maybe reduce the 30 cent to 5 cents. It's not you're getting a 30-cent listing fee because you either don't have a store or you have a basic store. That price does go down as you improve your subscription. And honestly, I haven't paid a listing fee in years and years and years and years. You should have the subscription that goes with how many listings you want to do. And you shouldn't have to pay for the listing part of it. I know that Charlie and I just went over the different store subscription levels when we were in the car on the way to Eau Claire. And I think it was the featured store or whatever. That's like, what was it? Like $1,000 a month or $3,000 a month? I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But that one did drop your listings down to 5 cents each. So if you're getting up towards that million card listing, it might be something you have to look at. But I think those are problems beyond what you really have to look at right now. For you, I would consider looking at maybe upping your store subscription, and then that should give you a bunch more free ones, and then you don't pay anything for the listings. DGen, only time I was in Westlake was visiting a Dave and Buster's for work. Oh, sweet, they have a Dave.
There you go.
So we know where we're going to eat and play.
And then I'll have sensory overload for the next day.
That place drives me insane. And then on Wednesdays here, it's half price Wednesdays for our Dave and Buster's, and it's insane in there. Jamie Croft, excuse me, has joined us. Welcome, Jamie. You're never too late for this show. We will.
But you did make it.
We will talk for as long as Charlie has an internet connection, which might not be very long.
I know. It's a rough night here for some reason.
Weston says he has a basic store, but he's looking to upgrade, so hopefully I'll see a difference. Yeah, that's going to be your game changer. Yes, it's more monthly, but it allows you a lot more freedom to do your listings and things, and it does give you some relief on some other expenses. So as long as you're using your store subscription to its fullest potential, you'll get the value out of it for sure. Plus, you'll get a coupon for some free supplies every 3 months.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's kind of worth it there too. All right, let me go back to, since we're caught up, let me go back to, let's see, what else? What was our other topic? Oh, booking hotels. We talked about that. And then switching gears, USPS and the Eau Claire card show. Yeah, we covered our topics. So not bad at an hour and a half in. I dropped an envelope on the other side of my desk, and it's driving me insane that it's laying on the floor. I kind of want to run over there and pick it up.
You can't let that lay there till after the show. You got to get it right now.
Yeah.
and I thought I had OCD tendencies.
Yeah, it's I'm getting itchy. Not a listing fee. My mistake. It's a 30-cent final value fee and another final value fee for rate. Okay, so those are two different things. The 30 cents is not a final value fee. That's your transaction fee. And they charge you that because they're handling the payments. So they've got credit card fees or, whatever they're doing for that payment, and then paying it to your account. So that's why it costs that. And it doesn't matter if you're selling a $10,000 car or a $1 baseball card, it's 30 cents.
Right.
So that's not going to change. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, there is some ways to combat that because remember, that's per transaction. So what you need to do is try to get more than one card in a transaction. That's how you're going to save on those fees. So you want to do things to entice customers to buy more cards. Make sure you have it turned off that they don't have to pay instantly if they buy a card, that you can invoice them. So if they buy 4 or 5 cards, you can send them a bill for all 5 of those cards. So they're not paying 30 cents on each. You're not paying 30 cents on each one of those cards that gets paid for. It doesn't always work out, but it's often. There's most of the time I can send an invoice and get out of the 30 cent per card sale.
Yeah, I had that happen the other day. I had a buyer send me 15 different offers, and I accepted them all, but he started paying for cards before I got through all of them.
Yep.
And then finally I'm like, hey, hold off. I can invoice all this together when I'm done. It'll make it easier for both of us. And then he did stop. Like half of them I got in one transaction.
Yeah, so that's the best you can hope for. And you know what? If a customer chooses to pay for them each individually, tough nuts. You lost 30 cents. It just is what it is. It's already occurred. That fee is already taken out. It's a new charge on the card or the account. eBay's got to pay that. You won't find, and that's not an eBay thing. You go to any, like I have a Shopify website, any transaction that gets done on there, it's 30 cents. Like you have to pay transaction fees. Digital payments is awesome, but there's a middleman in there, and middlemen don't work for free. So, now that being said, think about the old times, right? So there wasn't those 30 cent fees back when I started selling cards and stuff on eBay in like 1995, 96. Yes, I'm old. But people used to like mail me cash in the mail or mail me postal money orders. You'd have to go buy a postal money order and send it through the mail to buy a card. And it costs you like $1 to get a postal money order. They charge a fee for that too. So in the grand scheme of things, it's part of it. Try to price that 30 cents into your, when you're selling the card so that, you've got enough there to cover those things. There's no way around that one. Average Dave wants to know, is there any surprising sales from anything related to the Super Bowl? I knew Mahomes and Purdy would sell, but I'm getting Bosa and L'Jarius Sneed. I had some Sneed sales. I had some Nick Bolton rookie sales. I had a couple Valdez Scantling rookie sales. Mahomes, actually, I haven't really sold that much Mahomes, but I kind of overpriced my Mahomes stuff because he's generational. So I don't really give great deals on those. I haven't really sold any Bosa. Today I sold 2 Purdy base 2023 base cards. We don't find Purdy in the boxes very often.
No.
So for a while there, for a couple of months, I was finding his rookies in like dollar boxes, and I bought every single one I could. Because unlike Charlie, I knew he didn't belong in the dollar box. So I'd been doing that, but I'm not selling Purdy stuff cheap. So haven't gotten really many sales other than like some second year base stuff that I wasn't going to be big long-term value holds. I just basically bought them so that I could flip them.
Yeah, I don't know that I have anything that I would call a surprise. I'm still selling Mahomes, Kelsey. I still sell some Chiefs Tyreek Hill too. So I would expect to sell more Dolphin stuff of him these days, but there's still people getting that Chiefs red.
Yeah. I sold a Josh Allen pink that I listed, and like 10 minutes later it sold.
Yeah.
Pink Prism that I got out of a $1 box at the Eau Claire show. And I was like, really? People are buying Josh Allen stuff right now? But I sold a lot of Lamar Jackson over the past couple of weeks. So that was good to clear a bunch of that out.
Yeah.
Consensus still seems to be that he's going to get the MVP. So they're probably buying on some of that hype, if you will. But yeah, nothing. I mean, I don't know what would really surprise me.
Yeah.
Someone told me that.
Yeah.
Someone told me that Jason Kelsey cards have picked up a little bit, so that's kind of interesting. That would be a surprising sale to me.
Not to me, because he's retiring, so his available cards are gonna start to go down a little bit. I'm sure he'll still be in print for a couple years yet, but with the media cycle, I expected a little bit of an uptick in his sales.
Yeah, I don't have much Jason Kelsey. He's a center, so I don't really buy him. Weston says he tries to do multiple card sales, but his volume isn't quite there for people to be interested in buying multiple quantities, even with coupons. But I'm working on it. Yeah, that's all. You're in the growing pain stage. You just have to go through getting some sales, building a customer base, and understanding eBay and how it works and how it's going to work best for you, and building your brand. Charlie and I talk a lot on here about not being the big undercutter in the game. We want a solid brand that people want to buy from, like a Nike versus a Payless shoes, right? People feel like they're getting value and they're willing to pay more for that, which consequently can make you more money, which is a big reason why we're in this. So focus on that, and those sales and those things will come. Just sold a CMC Phoenix today, Dave. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey stuff has done really well. Yeah. I've been buying him all year long in kind of preps for this, and been selling a ton. Now that is a player I don't overprice, even though I know he's hot right now, because he's a running back and he won't matter long term, most likely. Versus the quarterbacks, you can kind of, unless you win, maybe if you win Super Bowl MVP or something like that, get a little bit longer term boost that way. But look at Thurman Thomas and Terrell Davis and some of these, Emmitt Smith. I guess that's a bad example because he does sell well, but some of these more dominant few years running back guys that had big Super Bowls and stuff, and they don't sell that well. Let's see. Joe says I'm going to call early Max Headroom. Remember him as a computer generated guy. Yeah, you have Time Warner, right? Or Spectrum?
Yeah, Spectrum, 100 meg.
They just can't keep up. So it's funny because we've been seeing a lot of advertisements for Spectrum, people signing up for services, and we were kind of chuckling because I'm like, well, it took me, I've had Spectrum services since I was 19 years old. So it took me, almost 30 years to get rid of them. I'm like, the last thing I'm going to do is sign up for one of their services.
Right.
But anyway, and then today, Bree got a phone call from them trying to, sell her some service. And she's like, who calls somebody? Come on. So I think they're struggling in our area now to maintain customer relationships. So we'll see what that does.
It's funny that, a lot of past weeks I've been watching you freeze up, and now it's flipped.
Yeah. Well, I was on Spectrum. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm out in the woods, and we didn't have very good connection as it was.
Yeah.
But the fiber optic is light years ahead. Ha, ha, pun intended.
I get it.
Do you? Awesome. Dad jokes. D-Gen says I sold both Kelsey common cards I had 2 weeks ago. I've sold Jason Kelsey cards. Usually it's like parallels and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's I'm not saying there's no market for him. There is. It's just it's never going to be as good as even his brother's market.
No.
So Speaking of Emmett, sold a Gazette 90s card for $2.99. Yep, I've sold a few of those. The Gazette card is interesting because it was based on a newspaper release, which is not even a thing anymore. But yeah, I like that card, and it does sell here and there. Technically, it's not a rookie card. He really was a rookie in '89, but no, he was a rookie in '90. That Gazette card is from '91, I think. Yeah, it's not a rookie card or anything, but if you can get $2.99 for it, that's pretty good. I would say that's probably a top dollar for that card. So well done there. You found a buyer, so that's good. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with being the highest price guy and hanging on to something too.
Right.
You got to decide, what kind of is there a long play in this card or not? If you've got stuff where the guy's hot now and he won't be next year, you probably want to give up some of that money to make sure you get the sale. So I was Beckham. I had sold a bunch of Beckham stuff the last couple of weeks. He's with the Ravens, right? And Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
And he had a few years. He's been a big name. He comes up in football all the time. He kind of had this resurgence career with Baltimore and their great receiving core and Lamar throwing to him and all that. I'm like, I am gonna sell these because this is not gonna last. So I had bought a few Odell silvers and just some lower end parallel stuff, things you could get in a quarter box, and I priced them to move and I sold most of them. I still have some stuff, but that's different than bulking up Christian McCaffrey and Purdy stuff and that kind of thing, I think. So you also have to look at the market of the player, right? How big of a fan base is the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers, Weston wants to know, do you ever use the bulk edit tool on eBay? How do you like it? I found some good use cases for it. I have. Once I start piling enough cards of a specific player, I'll go in and create a new store category for that player. And then I go back to my listings and I'll bulk edit them to change the categories that they're in my store. And I'll add the player category to it. A couple months ago, eBay required every card to have a condition listed. So I went and bulk edited and added conditions in to listings. Trying to think what else I would use it for.
I bulk edit prices sometimes. Like I'll sort my prices like high to low, and if I've had some stuff priced high that hasn't been getting a lot of interest, I'll change them all at once. Because what I like about it is you can change it and just tab out of it, and it's updating, and you just submit it. You don't have to go into each listing individually and revise it. Obviously, that's why it's called a bulk listing tool. I've updated SKUs in mass. Sometimes when I'm listing with the new SKU process, I'll, forget to add a letter after the first 5 or 6 when I start a new bag or something, and I'll just go back and quickly add that to all of them. So I think there's a lot of good use cases for it. I love it. I would say I use it a couple times a week for different things.
Yeah, I don't know if I use it quite that often, but yeah, I've definitely found use cases for it. eBay has good tools. Use the tools. Don't be afraid to go in there and kind of poke around. And I get a lot of messages where it's like, well, how did you do this? Or how did you do that? Or, this takes too long. I don't want to do this. And it's like, well, there's a tool right here. You can, filing claims, I learned how to do that. Asking eBay to remove feedback. You can do that. Matt showed me that at the Eau Claire show. So, keep being involved with the eBay community and learning their tools, and as tools change and things like that, stay up on that so that you can, be as efficient as possible and make sure your listings are going to be what they need to be so you get your sales. John Larson has joined us. Hi, guys. Great show. I wanted to ask if you guys think it's a good idea to take the time to check for non-numbered, no-color variations. I have a huge collection of 40K cards to post on eBay. Yeah, most of the stuff I have posted is not color or numbered. If you've got 40,000 numbered and colored cards, I would be listing the crap out of stuff because there's definitely money in that.
Or I'll take some off your hands.
Yeah. Send us a box. We love a free box of cards. We'll share with the community. But yeah, it doesn't have to be color or numbered or anything. You can sell tons of stuff. I sell a ton of just base cards.
Yeah.
Each year I'll buy a lot base of Optic or a lot base of Prism, the bigger selling brands. And, the bigger names sell first, but somebody bought 3 Charles Woodson 2021 Prism base cards for me this week. Super random. Not a current player. I mean, he is a Hall of Famer. That's fair. But, yeah, so you never know what'll sell. Average Dave says fingers crossed for Clyde Edwards-Helaire TD in the Super Bowl, so someone will buy that stuff.
I need Pacheco to have a big day.
Yeah. I see, and it's funny because I know what he's talking about. When the market boomed and football started out, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had his first game with the Chiefs. He had like 200 yards or something.
Yeah.
And his market went insane. Like people were paying $100 for like score base rookies and stuff. And like a month after that, I pulled out of a box of Chronicles. I got a Prism Black, Silver Prism, which, as you guys know, those are pretty hard to hit and they're pretty popular. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to sell this. And I still haven't found a buyer for that damn card. Even though I keep dropping it, it doesn't go. I think what happens, kind of like what happened with Zion, right? People get so into it and they put money into it and they get burned and they just refuse to go back no matter what.
Yeah.
I could charge $1 for that Prism Black card and I might not find a buyer. Because people are like, oh, you don't want Clyde Edwards-Helaire cards. Stay away, I'm sure eventually a Chiefs fan will buy it or whatever. But yeah, it's funny how that plays. Sold a few Travis Kelce and McDuffie cards Sunday morning. I didn't sell any McDuffie stuff, but sold a few Kelce.
Yeah.
But Kelce sells regularly for me anyway, so it's not really that big a deal. Like I didn't see like a huge boost or anything. Yeah, I would say the one thing that was kind of surprising was all the Odell Beckham Jr. stuff that I sold.
Yeah, I sold a little too.
But, yeah.
Touchdown tandems, Manning and Beckham. But that's kind of a cool card too, so I didn't think I would have too much trouble selling it.
The good Manning, right? The Eli,
yeah.
The 2 Super Bowl winner. Oh wait, Peyton had 2 too, didn't he? Because he had one with the Colts, and didn't he have one with the Colts and one with the Broncos, or 2 with the Broncos, right?
Well, I only remember the one against the Packers that he won with the Broncos, right? Like they knocked the Packers out. I don't remember him winning one with the Colts.
I thought he was like one of the he won in 2007 and he won in 2016.
Okay.
And he's one of the only players to win a victory against all 32 teams.
Yeah, I've heard before.
Let's see, where's his Super Bowl? Yep, the first one came with the Colts, because I think that was Marvin Harrison was still there, wasn't he?
I'm sure it was, yeah. And Edgerrin James.
Edgerrin James, yep, who's also in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, you know what? If he didn't win that second Super Bowl, Eli would never let him live that down. Like, geez, I can beat Tom Brady in a Super Bowl, and you can't. You can't win more than one, and you were dominating in your era. Yeah, that's good brotherly razzing material right there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Herna, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. 220. The other day, I sold 2 separate John Bon Jovi Brockham Rock cards. Had up for about a month. 2 different people, 10 minutes apart. Was so random, I thought something happened to them. Nope, that's the algorithm, my friend. I talk about that all the time. Oh, I sold one, so guess what? I sold another one.
Yeah.
When something catches fire, it catches fire. That's why it's good to have quantity listings. So that's the product of that for sure. So, well, I mean, that's kind of all I had to cover tonight. You got anything you want to add, Charlie? We could actually bet on time tonight.
Yeah, I don't. It was a good week. Sales were strong through the week. Today was probably the quietest day I've had since last week's show. But yeah, I think we had a busy week. We had a road trip to Eau Claire. We've got the NFL playoffs still going on, so there's been still plenty of football activity out there. Baseball is starting to heat up. We're gonna start seeing more prospects moving too, and Top's coming out soon. So
we got the draft here this year, so that's going to get interesting too.
Yeah, April, right?
Yeah, it's either late March or early April.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a big thing coming to our city that shouldn't really be here. I'm not sure how they ever landed that, but
it's so big they altered our school district's schedule.
Yeah, schedule. We had to change our location for our card show just because hotels are keeping everything. So yeah, it's a little disruptive, but it could be fun too. We'll see how it goes. As far as I just want to make one other comment on the rock cards. That's a good play. I carry a lot of those. The Pro Set cards, the MTV Wrap stuff. You don't want to go like super heavy in it or overpay for them. You can get I got a lot of those Brockham cards, like 300, 400 cards for $25, and I got all the stickers. So I got all the Iron Maiden stickers and stuff like that. That's good stuff. So
I haven't even seen those yet anywhere.
What's that?
Those rock cards.
I got a stack of them right here. You want to see them?
No, but I mean at shows I haven't seen them anywhere.
No, you won't. You have to. That's one of those eBay must buy eBay things. So I'll go on and I'll buy the Pro Set ones. You'll find boxes of them here and there, so you could just buy those and rip them.
Yeah.
The European Pro Set boxes are really good. They have like Michael Jackson cards in them and stuff, which the US version doesn't. So you have to kind of pay attention a little bit to them to know what's in them. But I just think it's good to stock stuff that isn't, the common thing either.
Yeah.
Let's say you were struggling for sales in a day and you sold 2, John Bon Jovi cards, to kind of put you over the top. That's kind of cool, right? So it's I don't know. It's just a good play. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. We'll kind of keep you guys up to date throughout the rest of this week, but, going into next week's show, if we're going to be able to have our guest on or not. And I'll make a couple videos this week. I'll probably do just a full sales day video later this week. We don't have a show this weekend, so we won't have anything for that. Super Bowl's in 3 weeks, right? It's 2 weeks and then the Super Bowl, 2 weeks off, I think it is. Because they do the media weekend the week before.
Yeah.
Right. So, look forward to that. Just go out and make sure you get your stuff so that you're ready for these changes in these sports right now. Playoffs coming, season's ending, season's starting. And, so that you're in the right position as things change a little bit over the next 2 months. We start getting some nice weather, things like that. Changes the market quite a bit.
I'm trying to verify the Super Bowl date and time. You would think I would know that because I thought it was in 2 weeks. I thought there was the 1 week off.
Is that what it is?
Following weekend, but
doesn't it seem like it keeps getting later and later every year? I could remember the Super Bowl being in January.
It does. It's been doing that for a while. Oh, we got the Pro Bowl coming up too.
Yeah,
right?
That's what it is. Yeah, the Pro Bowl and then the
Sunday the 4th is the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
And then Super Bowl is Sunday the 11th.
Okay, so it's the 2 weeks then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, technically it's 3 weeks because there's nothing this weekend. Oh no, this weekend is the Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl, yeah.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
So 2 weeks from the last the conference championships.
Okay. Yeah. Did you see one other point? Charlie, did you see my Julian Alvarez score 2 goals today for Manchester City?
I did.
You passed on all his rookie cards in that soccer box, so thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the rookie left behind for you, right?
Yeah, those were very lucrative for sure. That's right, Stuart. You tell him. You know what's up.
He does.
Okay. All right, my man.
That was the side with an ear too. Look at that. What if we do the side without an ear? Does he look different?
A little bit. Yeah, I like it. I kind of like
it. Like a dog. Sometimes the ears are up.
Yeah, one's down, one's up. All right, everybody. Well, keep listening, keep shipping, and stick to it. That's your assignment for this week. And we'll see you next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Keep on grinding. Peace out.